so that Daniel and his companions might not be destroyed with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Then the mystery was revealed to Daniel in a vision of the night. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, "Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, to whom belong wisdom and might. He changes times and seasons. He removes kings and sets up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him. To you, O God of my fathers, I give thanks and praise, for you have given me wisdom and might, and have now made known to me what we asked of you. For you have made known to us the king's matter." Therefore Daniel went into Arioch, whom the king had appointed to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus to him, "Do not destroy the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will show the king the interpretation." Then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste and said thus to him, "I have found among the exiles from Judah a man who will make known to the king the interpretation." The king declared to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, "Are you able to make known to me the dream that I have seen and its interpretation?" Daniel answered the king and said, "No wise men, enchanters, magicians, or astrologers can show to the king the mystery that the king has asked. But there is a God in heaven who reveals mysteries, and he has made known to King Nebuchadnezzar what will be in the latter days. Your dreams and the visions of your head as you lay in bed are these. To you, O king, as you lay in bed, came thoughts of what would be after this. And he who reveals mysteries made known to you what is to be. But as for me, this mystery has been revealed to me, not because of any wisdom that I have, more than all the living, but in order that the interpretation may be made known to the king, and that you may know the thoughts of your mind. You saw, O king, and behold, a great image. This image, mighty and of exceeding brightness, stood before you, and its appearance was frightening. The head of this image was of fine gold, its chest and arms of silver, its middle and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. As you looked, a stone was cut out by no human hand, and it struck the image on its feet of iron and clay, and broke them in pieces. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold all together were broken in pieces, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, so that not a trace of them could be found. But the stone that struck the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth. This was the dream. Now we will tell the king its interpretation. You, O king, the King of kings, to whom the God of heaven has given the kingdom, the power, and the might, and the glory, and into whose hand he has given, wherever they dwell, the children of man, the beasts of the field, and the birds of the heavens, making you rule over them all. You are the head of gold. Another kingdom inferior to you shall arise after you, and yet a third kingdom of bronze, which shall rule over all the earth. And there shall be a fourth kingdom, strong as iron, because iron breaks to pieces and shatters all things. And like iron that crushes, it shall break and crush all these. And as you saw the feet and toes, partly of potter's clay and partly of iron, it shall be a divided kingdom, but some of the firmness of iron shall be in it, just as you saw iron mixed with the soft clay. And as the toes of the feet were partly iron and partly clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly brittle. As you saw the iron mixed with soft clay, so they will mix with one another in marriage, but they will not hold together, just as iron does not mix with clay. And in the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that shall never be destroyed, nor shall the kingdom be left to another people. It shall break in pieces all these kingdoms, and bring them to an end, and it shall stand forever, just as you saw that a stone was cut from a mountain by no human hand, and that it broke in pieces the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold. A great God has made known to the king what shall be after this. The dream is certain, and its interpretation sure. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and paid homage to Daniel. and commanded that an offering and incense be offered up to him. The king answered and said to Daniel, "Truly your God is God of gods and Lord of kings and a revealer of mysteries, for you have been able to reveal this mystery." Then the king gave Daniel high honors and many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon and chief prefect over all the wise men of Babylon. Daniel made a request of the king, and he appointed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel remained at the king's court.
Here we go. And up, take a deep breath to center.
Chapter 3.
Exhale over to the left and turn to the left.
King Nebuchadnezzar made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and its breadth 6 cubits. He set it up on the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then King Nebuchadnezzar sent to gather the satraps, the prefects, and the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the justices, the magistrates, and all the officials of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then the satraps, the prefects, and the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the justices, the magistrates, and all the officials of the provinces gathered for the dedication of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And the herald proclaimed aloud, "You are commanded, O peoples, nations, and languages, that when you hear the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, bagpipe, and every kind of music, you are to fall down and worship the golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. And whoever does not fall down and worship shall immediately be cast into a burning fiery furnace." Therefore, as soon as all the peoples heard the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, bagpipe, and every kind of music, all the peoples, nations, and languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Therefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came forward and maliciously accused the Jews. They declared to King Nebuchadnezzar, "O king, live forever. You, O king, have made a decree that every man who hears the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, bagpipe, and every kind of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoever does not fall down and worship shall be cast into a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom you have appointed over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, pay no attention to you. They do not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up." Then Nebuchadnezzar, in furious rage, commanded that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought. So they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar answered and said to them, "Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the golden image that I have set up? Now if you are ready when you hear the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, bagpipe, and every kind of music, to fall down and worship the image that I have made, well and good. But if you do not worship, you shall immediately be cast into a burning fiery furnace. And who is the God who will deliver you out of my hands?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up." Then Nebuchadnezzar was filled with fury, and the expression of his face was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He ordered the furnace heated 7 times more than it was usually heated, and he ordered some of the mighty men of his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their cloaks, their tunics, their hats, and their other garments, and they were thrown into the burning fiery furnace. Because the king's order was urgent and the furnace overheated, the flame of the fire killed those men who took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell bound into the burning fiery furnace. Then King Nebuchadnezzar was astonished and rose up in haste. He declared to his counselors, "Did we not cast 3 men bound into the fire?" They answered and said to the king, "True, O king."
That's it.
He answered and said, "But I see 4 men unbound, walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt. And the appearance of the 4th is like a son of the gods." Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the door of the burning fiery furnace. He declared, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out and come here." Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out from the fire. And the satraps, the prefects, the governors, and the king's counselors gathered together and saw that the fire had not had any power over the bodies of those men. The hair of their heads was not singed, their cloaks were not harmed, and no smell of fire had come upon them. Nebuchadnezzar answered and said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants, who trusted in him, and set aside the king's command, and yielded up their bodies rather than serve and worship any god except their own God. Therefore I make a decree. Any people, nation, or language that speaks anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be torn limb from limb, and their houses laid in ruins. For there is no other God who is able to rescue in this way." Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon.
That's an option in case you guys are going to shoulder. That's okay. Let's see how you guys are doing that.
Chapter 4.
Knees are bent, back is straight. You guys are perfect.
King Nebuchadnezzar, to all peoples, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth,
Oh, nice, man.
peace be multiplied to you.
Make sure to breathe.
It has seemed good to me to show the signs and wonders that the Most High God has done
Finish
for
it
me.
off.
How great are his signs, how mighty his
Last one.
wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion endures from generation to generation.
Start in one corner.
I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at ease in my house and prospering in my palace.
Here we go.
I saw a dream that made me afraid.
These are the angles.
As I lay in bed, the fancies and the visions of my head alarmed me.
Boom. Let's
So I
turn.
made a decree that all the wise men of Babylon should be brought before me, that they might make known to me the interpretation of the dream.
Boom. Make sure that knee's over the ankle.
Then the magicians, the enchanters, the Chaldeans, and the astrologers came in, and I told them the dream,
Let's see the
but they
form.
could not make known to me its interpretation.
A little bit, Sean. Nice.
At
There you go.
last
Turn
Daniel
for me.
came in before me,
Let's see, going back.
he who was named Belteshazzar,
Good. Back.
after the
Let's
name
make
of
that
my
line
God,
perfect.
and in whom is the spirit of the holy gods.
All
And
right.
I told him the dream,
Turn.
saying,
Last one. Come on.
"O Belteshazzar, chief of the magicians,
Sean, I know you can do it.
because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in you, and that no mystery is too difficult for you,
Turn and come back.
tell me the visions of my dream that I saw and their interpretation."
Balance is good.
The visions of my head as I lay in bed were these.
Here we go.
I saw, and behold, a tree in the midst of the earth, and its height was great.
All right.
The tree grew and became strong, and its top reached to heaven,
Keep that quiet.
and it was visible to the end of the whole earth. Its leaves were beautiful and its fruit abundant, and in it was food for all. The beasts of the field found shade under it, and the birds of the heavens lived in its branches, and all flesh was fed from it.
Okay.
I saw in the visions of my head as I lay in bed, and behold, a watcher, a holy one, came down from heaven.
Right leg out.
He proclaimed aloud and said thus,
Pull on that toe for some
"Chop
more
down the
stretch.
tree and lop off its branches, strip off its leaves and scatter its fruit.
Calf hand.
Let the beasts flee from under it and the birds from its branches,
You guys feel that
but
stretch?
leave the stump of its roots in the earth,
Yeah, switch
bound
sides.
with
Here
a
we go.
band
This
of
side.
iron and bronze, amid the tender grass of the field. Let him be wet with the dew of heaven. Let his portion be with the beasts in the grass of the earth. Let his mind be changed from a man's, and let a beast's mind be given to him. Let 7 periods of time pass over him. The sentence is by the decree of the watchers, the decision by the word of the holy ones, to the end that the living may know that the Most High rules the kingdom of men, and gives it to whom he will, and sets over it the lowliest of men.
Now we're about 9 inches.
This dream I, King Nebuchadnezzar, saw, and you, O Belteshazzar, tell me the interpretation, because all the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known to me the interpretation, but you are able, for the spirit of the holy gods is in you.
Heads are not down.
Then Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, was dismayed for a while, and his thoughts alarmed him.
And these guys
The king answered and said, Belteshazzar, let not the dream or the interpretation alarm you.
We're almost there.
Belteshazzar
Remember,
answered and
15
said,
reps on this too, you guys.
My lord, may the dream be for those who hate you and its interpretation for your enemies.
Nice form, nice breathing.
The tree you saw, which grew and became strong, so that its top reached to heaven, and it was visible to the end of the whole earth, whose leaves were beautiful and its fruit abundant, and in which was food for all, under which beasts of the field found shade, and in whose branches the birds of the heavens lived. It is you, O king, who have grown and become strong. Your greatness has grown and reaches to heaven, and your dominion to the ends of the earth. And because the king saw a watcher, a holy one, coming down from heaven and saying, Chop down the tree and destroy it, but leave the stump of its roots in the earth, bound with a band of iron and bronze, in the tender grass of the field, and let him be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts of the field, till 7 periods of time pass over him. This is the interpretation, O king. It is a decree of the Most High, which has come upon my lord the king, that you shall be driven from among men, and your dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. You shall be made to eat grass like an ox, and you shall be wet with the dew of heaven, and 7 periods of time shall pass over you, till you know that the Most High rules the kingdom of men, and gives it to whom he will. And as it was commanded to leave the stump of the roots of the tree, your kingdom shall be confirmed for you from the time that you know that heaven rules. Therefore, O king, let my counsel be acceptable to you. Break off your sins by practicing righteousness, and your iniquities by showing mercy to the oppressed, that there may perhaps be a lengthening of your prosperity. All this came upon King Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of 12 months, he was walking on the roof of the royal palace of Babylon. And the king answered and said, Is not this great Babylon, which I have built by my mighty power, as a royal residence, and for the glory of my majesty? While the words were still in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven. O King Nebuchadnezzar, to you it is spoken. The kingdom has departed from you, and you shall be driven from among men, and your dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. And you shall be made to eat grass like an ox, and 7 periods of time shall pass over you, until you know that the Most High rules the kingdom of men, and gives it to whom he will. Immediately the word was fulfilled against Nebuchadnezzar. He was driven from among men, and ate grass like an ox, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hair grew as long as eagle's feathers, and his nails were like birds' claws. At the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted my eyes to heaven, my reason returned to me, and I blessed the Most High, and praised and honored him who lives forever. For his dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom endures from generation to generation. All the inhabitants of the earth are accounted as nothing, and he does according to his will among the host of heaven, and among the inhabitants of the earth. And none can stay his hand or say to him, What have you done? At the same time my reason returned to me, and for the glory of my kingdom, my majesty and splendor returned to me. My counselors and my lord sought me, and I was established in my kingdom, and still more greatness was added to me. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, for all his works are right, and his ways are just. And those who walk in pride, he is able to humble. Chapter 5. King Belshazzar made a great feast for 1,000 of his lords, and drank wine in front of the 1,000. Belshazzar, when he tasted the wine, commanded that the vessels of gold and of silver that Nebuchadnezzar his father had taken out of the temple in Jerusalem be brought, that the king and his lords, his wives, and his concubines might drink from them. Then they brought in the golden vessels that had been taken out of the temple, the house of God in Jerusalem, and the king and his lords, his wives, and his concubines drank from them. They drank wine and praised the gods of gold and silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone. Immediately the fingers of a human hand appeared and wrote on the plaster of the wall of the king's palace, opposite the lampstand. And the king saw the hand as it wrote.
come
Then
on
the
back.
king's color changed, and his thoughts alarmed him.
All right,
His
last
limbs
one,
gave
last
way,
up.
and his
Come on, bring it
knees
on.
knocked together.
Big lunch, but then
The king called loudly to bring in the enchanters, the Chaldeans, and the astrologers.
See how they stand up
The
nice
king
and
declared to
tall
the
every
wise
time?
men of Babylon,
Hands are up for balance. That's important.
"Whoever reads this writing and shows me its interpretation shall be clothed with purple and have a chain of gold around his neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom."
Now remember, you guys, there's no reason
Then
we
all
would
the
do
king's
this.
wise
Starting
men
out
came
slow.
in,
One,
but they
two,
could not read the
take your
writing
time,
or make
check your
known to the
waist,
king
you're
the
not lifting too
interpretation.
hard, make sure your form's really good.
Then
Use
King
that
Belshazzar
elbow
was
underneath
greatly
your
alarmed,
waist.
and
That's
his
okay.
color changed, and his lords were perplexed.
All right, you guys. Here we
The
go.
queen, because of the words of the king and
Go
his
into our
lords,
stretch.
came into the
And we'll do
banqueting
quads
hall, and the
first.
queen declared,
Grab the right ankle.
"O king, live forever. Let not your thoughts alarm you, or your color change.
Tall.
There is a man in your kingdom in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. In the days of your father, light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, were found in him. And King Nebuchadnezzar, your father the king, made him chief of the magicians, enchanters, Chaldeans, and astrologers, because an excellent spirit, knowledge, and understanding to interpret dreams, explain riddles, and solve problems were found in this Daniel,
Let's do it again.
whom the king named Belteshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation."
Okay, round three.
Then
Seven,
Daniel
seven,
was
seven.
brought
Right
in
on the
before the
floor.
king.
Seven
The king
wide,
answered and
seven
said to
close,
Daniel,
seven standing.
"You are
Same
that
kind of
Daniel, one of the exiles of Judah, whom the king my father brought from Judah.
Hold.
I have heard of you that the spirit of the gods is in you, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom are
Sean,
found
you
in
get
you.
wider than that. Come on.
Now the wise men, the enchanters, have been brought in before me to read this writing and make known to me its interpretation.
Stomach and back is nice
But they
and
could
tight.
not
Thank you
show
for
the
breathing.
interpretation of the matter.
Good, good.
But I have heard that you
Switch
can
over to
give
the close ones.
interpretations and solve problems.
Let's go. In here,
Now
nice
if you
and
can
tight.
read the writing and make known to me its interpretation, you shall be clothed with purple and have a chain of gold around your neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom."
Really, really important.
Then Daniel answered and said before the king,
Okay.
"Let your gifts be for yourself,
See, Lisa, you gotta get those
and give your
elbows nice and
rewards
tight.
to
Too
another.
wide there, girl.
Nevertheless, I will read the writing to the king, and make known to him the interpretation.
Closer, closer, closer.
O king, the Most High God gave Nebuchadnezzar your father kingship and greatness and glory and majesty. And because of the greatness that he gave him, all peoples, nations, and languages trembled and feared before him. Whom he would, he killed. Whom he would, he kept alive. Whom he would, he raised up. And whom he would, he humbled. But when his heart was lifted up and his spirit was hardened so that he dealt proudly, he was brought down from his kingly throne, and his glory was taken from him.
Like you're starting a lawn.
He was driven from among the children of mankind, and his mind was made like that of a beast, and his dwelling was with the wild donkeys.
Right leg
He was
straight.
fed grass like an ox, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, until he knew that the Most High God rules the kingdom of
Remember, you
mankind,
guys, don't overdo
and
it.
sets over it
Just start
whom
now.
he will.
Pick a weight, it's a
And you, his son, Belshazzar, have not humbled your heart, though you knew all this. But you have lifted up yourself against the Lord of heaven,
Lisa has, it's really, really
and the
important.
vessels of his
Keep standing
house have been
back.
brought in before you, and you and your lords, your wives, and your concubines have drunk wine from them.
Let's see,
And you
Sean.
have praised the gods of
Got
silver and
resistance
gold,
bands. There's a
of
lot of tension
bronze,
at the top of that
iron,
motion.
wood, and
That's
stone,
okay. You're not gonna
which do
have
not
to
see,
stand there and make
or
motions,
hear,
use the
or
weights.
know.
Two more, they're gonna switch
But the
sides.
God in whose hand is
All right,
your
you guys?
breath,
That's it.
and
Let's go to
whose
the
are
side.
all your ways,
Remember at home,
you have not
keep
honored.
your 15 reps here too.
Then from his presence the hand was sent, and this writing was inscribed. And this is the writing that was inscribed:
Form doesn't change.
Mene,
Exactly the way it was on the
Mene,
other side.
Tekel,
Let's see, you guys.
and
That's
Parsin. This is the interpretation of the matter.
big twist. You see the twist at the top?
Mene, God has numbered the days of your kingdom and brought it to an end.
Sean's great. Nice.
Tekel, you have been weighed in the balances and
One thing about
found
the
wanting.
resistance bands, you'll notice not as much tension at
Perez,
the bottom.
your kingdom is divided and given to the
This is the
Medes
next
and
exercise.
Persians.
Give you guys. We got four more here.
Then Belshazzar gave the command, and Daniel was clothed with purple. A chain of gold was put around his neck, and a proclamation was made about him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. That very night,
Shoulder flies.
Belshazzar, the
Might wanna let you
Chaldean
wait a little
king,
bit here.
was killed,
Less than you think.
and Darius the
15
Mede
reps.
received the
One foot's
kingdom,
in front of the other.
being about 62 years old.
Here we go. Follow me.
Chapter 6.
And down.
It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 satraps to be throughout the whole kingdom, and over them 3 high officials, of whom Daniel was one, to whom these satraps should give account, so that the king might suffer no loss.
See how high your elbows are?
Then this Daniel became distinguished above all the other high officials and satraps, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king planned to set him over the whole kingdom. Then the high officials and the satraps sought to find a ground for complaint against Daniel with regard to the kingdom, but they could find no ground for complaint or any fault, because he was faithful, and no error or fault was found in him. Then these men said, "We shall not find any ground for complaint against this Daniel unless we find it in connection with the law of his God." Then these high officials and satraps came by agreement to the king and said to him, "O King Darius, live forever." All the high officials of the kingdom, the prefects and the satraps, the counselors and the governors, are agreed that the king should establish an ordinance and enforce an injunction, that whoever makes petition to any god or man for 30 days, except to you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the injunction and sign the document, so that it cannot be changed, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which cannot be revoked. Therefore King Darius signed the document and injunction. When Daniel knew that the document had been signed, he went to his house where he had windows in his upper chamber open toward Jerusalem. He got down on his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he had done previously. Then these men came by agreement and found Daniel making petition and plea before his God. Then they came near and said before the king concerning the injunction, "O king, did you not sign an injunction that anyone who makes petition to any god or man within 30 days except to you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions?" The king answered and said, "The thing stands fast according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which cannot be revoked." Then they answered and said before the king, "Daniel, who is one of the exiles from Judah, pays no attention to you, O king, or the injunction you have signed, but makes his petition 3 times a day." Then the king, when he heard these words, was much distressed, and set his mind to deliver Daniel, and he labored till the sun went down to rescue him. Then these men came by agreement to the king and said to the king, "Know, O king, that it is a law of the Medes and Persians that no injunction or ordinance that the king establishes can be changed." Then the king commanded, and Daniel was brought and cast into the den of lions. The king declared to Daniel, "May your God, whom you serve continually, deliver you." And a stone was brought and laid on the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet, and with the signet of his lords, that nothing might be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and spent the night fasting. No diversions were brought to him, and sleep fled from him. Then at break of day the king arose and went in haste to the den of lions. As he came near to the den where Daniel was, he cried out in a tone of anguish. The king declared to Daniel, "O Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to deliver you from the lions?" Then Daniel said to the king, "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths, and they have not harmed me, because I was found blameless before him. And also before you, O king, I have done no harm." Then the king was exceedingly glad and commanded that Daniel be taken up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no kind of harm was found on him, because he had trusted in his God. And the king commanded, and those men who had maliciously accused Daniel were brought and cast into the den of lions, they, their children, and their wives. And before they reached the bottom of the den, the lions overpowered them and broke all their bones in pieces. Then King Darius wrote to all the peoples, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, "Peace be multiplied to you. I make a decree that in all my royal dominion people are to tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, enduring forever. His kingdom shall never be destroyed, and his dominion shall be to the end." He delivers and rescues. He works signs and wonders in heaven and on earth.
Nice work. We're gonna see
He
you
who
tomorrow.
has saved
We'll call you.
Daniel
Nice
from the
work, you
power
guys.
of the
Thank you very
lions.
much. Great. We'll see you tomorrow.
So this Daniel prospered during the reign of Darius and the reign of Cyrus the Persian. Chapter 7. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel saw a dream and visions of his head.